My name is Summer Dickerson, and I'm a survivor of human trafficking. Release the Epstein files now!
In Kentucky, frustration is turning into outrage. Once loyal Trump voters are now feeling the sting of economic collapse, lost jobs, rising costs, and broken promises. The MAGA dream is unraveling, and people are speaking out. In this video, you'll hear their stories. Listen closely, because the truth hits home.
This distillery in Kentucky that is a huge GDP of Kentucky, $9 billion. They have filed for bankruptcy. $9 billion. The red state of Kentucky, this is an FAFO. Do you remember when the tariffs hit? We told Canada, we don't need you, and people stopped buying whiskey. This is a $9 billion FAFO for the red state of Kentucky.
I'm one of the biggest supporters of President Trump, but yet I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Importing beef from another country does nothing but hurt the American farmers. We're able to make a few dollars right now and break even. But let me tell you something. Importing more beef from Argentina is going to do nothing but hurt us. That's going to make the cows cheaper. However, when the cattle go down on the market, guess what? Our farm supplies are still high. Parts for the tractors are still high. They're not coming down. So, President Trump, we are asking you, as farmers of America, not to do this, not to import more beef from Argentina. There's got to be something that you can do to do an incentive for the farmers of America.
You know what I have? Receipts. You know what else I have? No shame. And these white Christian men who are talking about taking away a woman's right to vote or a gay person's right to marriage. I have receipts, and a lot of us have receipts. A lot of us ladies and gay men have receipts from your white Christian husbands when they were still married to you.
Hey Kentucky, how you doing? Are you enjoying watching your state drink getting pulled off the shelves and websites and inventory and menus of Canadian businesses, bars, restaurants, the whole thing? Are you loving those tariffs? Those beautiful tariffs? Tariffs like no one has ever seen before. You know, the ones that are going to put you out of a job because although you produce 99% of the world's whiskey, the world ain't going to buy your booze no more. You know, the tariffs that the other countries are going to pay. Well, no, they're not. They aren't going to do that. They're just going to stop buying American goods and services. Yes, they are. I mean, come to think of it, I, an American citizen, hate buying Americans, so I can't hate on them for that at all, because we suck. So anyway, congrats on getting your guy in office. He's sure looking out for you, ain't he?
Kentucky Barbie says that libs are miserable people because we make fun of Donnie.
You are a miserable group of people. Miserable people are the only ones who go around disparaging, belittling, putting down, making fun of people.
Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way.
What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to...
I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said.
You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the... you are a real... You know, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough.
Oh, my president, Trump, my president, I love him, just signed into law that families making less than $120,000 a year, which is the majority of families in the United States, will now not have to file taxes. They will not have to pay federal taxes. They will not have to get a tax refund at the end of the year because they loaned the government their money. My president signed that in.
You know, folks, one of the hardest parts about talking with MAGA day in and day out is getting them to understand that Donald Trump's presidency could have a negative impact on their life. They just cannot buy into that concept for 1 second. They really believe that he's the guy that has all the answers to their problems. And for the last 4 years, they've laid every bit of the blame at Joe Biden's feet.
Red, white, and blue, baby. No kings, no dictators. Down with Trump. We ain't gonna take this no more.
We're here in Lexington, where thousands of people are lining the streets to protest against the Trump administration.
This is not authoritarianism. This land is a democracy. I am protesting Trump for the first protest in my life at 71 years old.
What do you got here?
He's a pig on a platter with lies coming out of his mouth.
I have a young daughter with me, and I am here fighting for her rights, which have suffered greatly under this administration.
Immigrants, man, they don't deserve to be deported. They don't deserve to be kidnapped. That's what's happening. So if I don't look like you, I'm in trouble, and I was born here.
How does that make you feel?
Rips our heart out, man. This is our home. We're Mexicans for USA, man.
As a former Marine, how do you feel about the administration?
How do I feel?
Yes, sir.
I feel horrible when I think about he's taking Marines and moving them to places like LA or any place. It's kind of stupid.
It's important. I might cry.
It's going to be decades, if we're lucky, that we can recoup from this.
I feel threatened. I think a lot of people do.
Donald Trump needs to go because he's trying to be an authoritarian versus a democratic leader.
We want our country back. So I'm hoping that, you know, we the people can figure out that we are the power.
What does no kings mean to you?
We are a nation under the Constitution, not under one rule.
The people inside this building are getting paid to steal your neighbors and stomp all over your constitutional rights, but the government doesn't think you should eat this month. While they're kidnapping our community at gas stations and from their homes, you are getting your WIC this month. The government feels as though it is more important to ensure that you cannot eat. Get people off the fucking street!
Come out to play, piggies! Stop hiding! I thought you guys were the Proud Boys!
So voting has consequences, and those voters in the states of Kentucky and West Virginia are finding out that their vote, which, by the way, was overwhelmingly for Donald Trump in 2024, is coming back to haunt them. And the haunting is in the coal industry. The coal industry's had a tough time for decades. However, they had seen a new revival in that because they had a huge buyer in the world. Guess who? China. China is the biggest consumer of coal in the world, and they were buying it from companies out of West Virginia and Kentucky, where thousands of people are employed in the coal industry to make their living. Well, those people have been voting staunchly Republican for years. Well, in this instance, they are finally finding out that maybe they made a mistake. And not maybe, because the coal industry, once again, the largest consumer in the world of coal is China. The tariffs have made it to where China will not buy American coal. And without buying American coal, you're putting tens of thousands of people out of work in Kentucky and West Virginia. So once again, voting has consequences, and you're finding out.
So this last week has been a little challenging. It's been really heavy. It's been really hard. We lost our former governor, Martha Lane Collins, the very first woman governor to ever have the office of Kentucky, and the only one so far. We also had the tragic plane accident in Louisville. Both of those events, my heart goes out to the families involved and all of the lives that have been impacted. The governor has ordered our flags at half-staff for both occurrences, and as you can see, the Republican Party of Kentucky can't be bothered to show respect. But you know what they do have time to do? Spend countless dollars on this right here, the Mitch McConnell building. Looks like a plantation house. Ridiculous. Their views are not in line, and they don't give any cares about Kentuckians. It's proven time after time.
Well, would you look at that? After 783 years, Mitch has decided not to run for re-election. Okay, Kentucky, what are you all thinking? Who's gonna be our next senator? Okay, I don't want to say anything, but I got a clue. I got a hint of who could run. Okay, but if you're thinking it's me, absolutely not. Because you know I will be talking to these people bad, stupid, crazy. And maybe that's what they need. But who knows? Stay tuned. But I am so excited that he will finally get in his recliner, eat his Jell-O, maybe some soup, watch Price is Right. You know, the things that Papaws and Meemaws do. That's where Mitch needs to be.
Across Kentucky's small towns and coal country, the struggle is real. Families who once stood proudly behind MAGA are now questioning what went wrong. The promises of prosperity have faded, replaced by frustration, doubt, and a growing demand for answers.
Goes out to the MAGA folks of bumfuck Kentucky who voted overwhelmingly for Trump. Well, Trump's big, beautiful bill that your favorite corpse, Mitch McConnell, also voted for, I took some notes. Make sure I get it right. Kentucky will face up to $12.3 billion in Medicaid reductions over the next 10 years. That's expected to close 35 hospitals and strip 200,000 residents of their health care. But not just hospitals. It'll also cause a severe blow to nursing homes that depend heavily on federal Medicaid funds. So what does that mean for people of Kentucky who have a loved one or parent in a nursing home? Well, hopefully you got a spare bedroom, because now you're going to need a hospital bed and a bunch of bedpans. Because guess what? You're the new nursing home. But don't worry, Kentucky, because billionaires will be getting a tax break.
Let me make this clear for those of you watching from Kentucky. If you are one of the 1.4 million people in the Commonwealth who gets health insurance through Connect, Republicans are coming for your health care. If you have a kid in JCPS, Republicans are coming after their education, fewer teachers, fewer opportunities, and no more free school lunch. If you are one of our veterans or our seniors or the 1 in 5 Kentucky kids going hungry as we speak, Republicans want to take away your next meal. It's wrong. I met with over 1,000 of my constituents this weekend. They're angry. I'm angry too, because this budget hurts people. And for what? So Elon Musk can get even richer? It's a scam.
40 minutes. That's how long it took my husband to drive me to the nearest hospital after I got off the phone with my midwife, who told me to come in immediately after I called her with severe abdominal pain while 8 months pregnant. My hospital, alongside 34 other rural hospitals in Kentucky, is now at risk of shutting down because of attacks on Medicaid. And instead of fighting to keep our hospitals open and the communities they serve cared for, our elected officials in Frankfort are instead focusing on attacking our trans neighbors, restricting access to education, and making our water supplies less safe.
Well, a very strange thing happened on November 4th in Kentucky. Kentucky voters were very mad that polling places were closed that day. You ask yourself, what was going on? Why couldn't Kentucky voters get to the polls? Because Kentucky didn't have any elections going on. But people were still showing up to vote. Michael Adams, the Kentucky Secretary of State, said, "We're getting calls about polls being closed. They are closed because we do not have elections today. Kentucky votes next year. You cannot vote today in Kentucky for the mayor of New York City or the governor of Virginia. Sorry." Then he quote tweeted himself, said, "Have I mentioned my repeated call for civic education?" The people of Kentucky wondering why they're not getting a say in who's mayor of New York City, a place 99% of them have never been. I'd like to take this time to remind you that the state of Kentucky is ranked 32nd in education and all birds fly north of the Ohio River because Kentucky isn't worth shitting on.
It is a fact that most students are unprepared to participate in our communities and in our government. Kentucky is one of just 11 states with no civics requirement. And it shows. Right now, half of Kentuckians can't even name a local elected official or our 3 branches of government. A student from Jefferson County told us that his civics education amounts to a single test, the Kentucky Civics exam, which he says promotes a disengaged approach to civic education. All Kentucky students are required to take the civics exam to graduate. However, the exam is a 50-question multiple-choice test that requires nothing more than memorization of rote facts. Many students report they are given the questions and sometimes even the answers ahead of time. This test does nothing to prepare us to be active and informed civic participants. Consider this from a high school senior from southwestern Kentucky. As my 18th birthday approaches, my school has still failed to teach me what I need to know about how local and national governments work. He said, with no education about civic matters, specifically the importance of voting and how to do so, I am worried about the lack of preparation for adulthood I have received.
If you're okay with billions of dollars in subsidies to billionaires and billions of dollars in assistance to other countries, but you have a problem with $3 a month to help your own people eat, then you're what my mama used to call special.
Political strategy, let's go. Lord God, I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, everything that Trump ran on, it seems like he's going back on now. He wanted to get out of Ukraine yesterday, giving more money to Ukraine. He goes to fucking that rally in Iowa and he says, well, we're going to have to do something, maybe a bipartisan type deal, you know, for the migrant workers in the fields and the people who clean hotel rooms and restaurants. We might have to do like a bipartisan amnesty. Well, Trump, you didn't run on amnesty. You ran on mass deportation, and mass deportation means everybody has to go. You want to fracture this base, this MAGA base? You go ahead and do amnesty.
Driving throughout Harlan County, Kentucky, on the southeastern edge of the state, we saw it firsthand, what homelessness in rural America can look like.
Sheds, buildings, deplorable conditions, trailers with no windows, no electricity, no water. That's what it looks like here.
In Harlan County, homelessness is impacting many people, perhaps most notably children. Of the little over 3,000 students enrolled in Harlan County Public Schools, 1,300 experience homelessness.
We have the highest rate per capita of homeless students in Harlan County of any other district in the state of Kentucky.
So Stewart works to provide children with shoes, clothing, eyeglasses, or school supplies in an effort to help them be successful. But without a reliable place to live and a good night's sleep, it's hard enough for many just to make it to school.
Chronic absenteeism is a big problem for homeless students.
Did not sign it, so I take the president at his word. I don't think the Oversight Committee is going to invest in looking up something 22 years ago. We're going to look.
So you're just going to take the president at his word that this is not it?
What does it have to do with anything?
I'm filming live on the march in Lexington, Kentucky. Here you can see we've got quite a crowd, the scale of which surprises even me. I know these outfits, these are dedicated to the cause because I had an inflatable bald eagle on for about 5 minutes and I started to have a stroke. So this is dedication to the cause right here. Panda.
We've heard, and many of you have reported already, this Hate America rally that they have coming up for October 18th. The Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall. We got some House Democrats selling T-shirts for this event. It is an outrageous gathering for outrageous purposes, but the Democrats in the Senate have shown that they're afraid of that crowd, that they don't want to bow They want to bow to them, bow the knee to them, and they don't want
We
to
are
take...
in the streets. We are on the move. There is a shitload of people here. Mike Johnson and everybody in Donald Trump's administration made an attempt to paint this rally as a Hate America rally. Well, guess what? They're wrong. Woo!
This must be where the Speaker of the House says billionaires are creating signs for us. Here at the Make Your Own Sign one per person station. Ooh, scary.
Yeah, sis! My name is Summer Dickerson, and I'm a survivor of human trafficking. Release the Epstein files now! Release the Epstein files now! This administration, and you know what? Not just this administration. I want to make something very clear. As a survivor of human trafficking, as a survivor that knows some of the survivors that are involved in the Epstein case, I went to the trial. I can promise you this isn't a right or a left problem. This is a protect the children issue. They keep making distractions. Do you notice that? Everything underneath the moon is happening right now, so they don't have to release those Epstein files. I could sit up here and give you tons and tons of statistics about Native American women and black and brown women and men and little boys and little girls are trafficked every day. And I know a lot of you all think that it doesn't happen here in our city. It does. It's huge, and it's not just Deer and Derby. Understand that. We all get riled up around Derby, and I appreciate y'all because it lets me know y'all listen to Survivors. Because Survivors is the one that stepped up and said, sorry, Churchill Down, you got a fucking problem. And Trump and his administration and the Republicans and the Democrats here in Frankfurt, I need you all to call them every day, email them every day, demand that all of this is released.
What's unfolding in Kentucky is more than an economic crisis. It's a reckoning. Families are realizing that promises of prosperity have given way to struggle and silence. The people who powered a movement are now left asking what happened to the future they were promised. These voices deserve to be heard, not ignored, because understanding their pain is the first step toward rebuilding trust and demanding real change. If this message resonates with you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep these stories alive. And click the video on your screen to hear more voices from across America's heartland.